Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, misery bots of all ages, back again with another video. This time we're talking Haku in the Chunin exams versus everyone in the Chunin exams. And how do you think our boy Haku does? Now, mind you, for those who don't remember Haku, he was like the first Naruto villain. Him and Zabuza are like the first true, or considered the first true Naruto villains in the series. And for good reason. Because like his effect on Naruto and Sasuke kind of like changes everything going forward. Like they were a major influence on Naruto and Sasuke, even up until the war arc, where Kakashi goes after them in the war arc, and he even thanks them for being like one of the first true villains in the arc or whatever that Naruto and Sasuke had to deal with because it kind of shaped them to the people they will eventually be. Because they were just one, they were that just goddamn strong. Two, it taught them this ninja world that they were in. Because before they were just bright eyed, dumb genin that didn't know any better until they came across like real ninjas out here, ninjas willing to sacrifice themselves for the mission and stuff like that. And that's what taught them, like, yo, this ninja world is real. You know what I mean? That's like you out in the streets and you out there, you playing or whatever until you come across a real situation against some real people. And that's when you learn, like, oh, these streets ain't nothing to play with. You know what I mean? In that situation, Naruto and them could have lost their life. They didn't, and they were able to learn and grow from that experience. But if it wasn't for the kindness of Haku, the kindness of Haku is what saved them in that situation. Because Haku, being who Haku was, didn't really want to kill nobody. Like he wasn't really about that killing life type joint. Like he ain't really they ain't really what he wanted to do with his powers and his abilities. You know what I mean? Don't mean he wasn't good at it, and that's why we here with this video. Because Haku was very good at his job. You know what I mean? He's one of those Haku's one of those people who's really good at his job but hates their job. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Some of y'all are that people where y'all are y'all good at your job, but y'all absolutely hate your job, bro. And I mean, that's just trope in real life that everybody can relate to. That so many people could relate. I can't say everybody, but so many people could relate to. Where there's so many people out in these streets where they're great at their job. You know what I mean? They don't like their job. Like their job don't bring them happiness. It don't bring them that content. And that's what Haku was. But let's see how Haku would do if he was to join the Chunin exams. If for whatever reason he survived that encounter, you know what I mean? He was still part of the hit and miss or whatever, and the hit and miss sent, you know, Haku to represent them or whatever. How would Haku do in the Chunin exams? You know what I mean? Will he make Chunin? Because I mean, Haku was strong enough to be able to kill Jonin. At his level of power, even Zabuza was glazing him to the point where he was like, yo, he can kill Kakashi or whatever. Haku was strong. I don't know if he's strong enough to kill Kakashi. He was strong though, so he might have possibly been like Jonin level, maybe low Jonin level, maybe very high special Jonin level. You know what I mean? Because there's level to Jonins. You know what I mean? You do have like high Jonin level characters like Kakashi, but then you also have like special Jonins too. So would Haku even be considered Jonin in that class of Chunins? Because that class of Chunins during that Naruto Chunin exam was wild strong, bro. Like we had some monsters like Shino. Like Shino is a major threat. You have people like Neji. You have people like Gara, Kankuro, Tamari. Like Gara went on to be a Kazekage. Naruto goes on to be a Hokage. Sasuke goes on to be a Shadow Kage. You know what I mean? So like you got people like Shikamaru who went on to be the aide to a Hokage. So like you had some beast on their joint. You know what I mean? You had some joints on there. You had Kabuto. Kabuto, who was part of the Chunin exams at one point. Now, granted, he didn't take in part of the fighting or whatever, but that was a Kakashi level threat. Could Haku have defeated him? Who knows? Who knows? But let's try to figure this out. Off rip though, off rip. And this is something that was supposed to be between like me and Zalseed. And if Zalseed watches this video and we end up doing our little podcast after the fact, yeah, like tell me what you think. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna eliminate like 95% of the Chunins off rip. Off rip. Like 95 of the Chunins right now, Haku's taking them out. ASAP, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Like whatever you want to say, like Haku's taking them out. Off the rip of his, off the strength of his speed alone. Haku is too fast for at least 95% of the people in the Chunin exams. You think of people like Sakura, Ino. You think about even like Hinata, even though she got the Byakugan, like I don't think she's fast enough to keep up with Haku. You also have people like your Kankuro, your Shikamaru. You have even Shino. I think Shino's one of the best and strongest people in the Chunin exams. I just simply don't think he's fast enough to keep up with Haku, especially if Haku activates his crystal ice mirrors. Like he's not going to be fast enough. Like mind you, Haku could have been killed Naruto and Neji. I mean not Neji, Sasuke. He could have been killed like Naruto and Sasuke if he wanted to. He chose not to because he was nice. He didn't want to. Now in the Chunin exams, he's probably gonna be the same way. He's probably not gonna want to kill anybody, but he's gonna try to immediately incapacitate them. Immediately, like in the mission with Sasuke and Naruto, he was kind of trying to talk them out of it, trying to tell them to like give up the mission or whatever. In the Chunin exams, like he's probably gonna be trying to talk people into like giving up or whatever. But at the very least, he's gonna be able to like take people out like quickly, like incapacitate people very quickly. And unfortunately, people like Chino and Ino and Sakura and all those lower level the sound ninjas, like he's gonna be able to take the sound ninjas out quick, bro. Quick. Unfortunately, I think he's gonna even be able to beat Rock Lee. That's gonna come down to maybe like a stamina type thing, because I do think Rock Lee is probably somebody who is somewhat close enough to maybe be able to keep up with Haku due to his speed or whatever. But I can see Rock Lee burning out faster than Haku in that situation. Because you got to understand, like with Haku, first of all, Haku might actually be a little bit faster than Rock Lee, even with Rock Lee opening the 8 gates. Like Haku has been quoted to be light speed. Now, even though Rock Lee is extremely quick and fast, I'm not sure if he's actually light speed. He might be light speed when he activates the 8 gates. He might be, honestly speaking. I'm not 100% sure about that. But if he is, Rock Lee has this one major advantage in which he's only taijutsu. Whereas Haku, he can move at light speed and still keep his distance, throwing the Senbomb, which will just eventually wear Rock Lee out. So honestly speaking, like I think honestly the only people who might be able to contend with Haku in the Chunin exams is Gaara, Naruto, Sasuke, Neji. And that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, I can't think of anybody else right now. It's those 4. Neji, Sasuke, Naruto, Gaara. The sound ninjas don't clear. They're not fast enough. He's taking them out quick, fast, and in a hurry. Shikamaru definitely can't. Choji definitely can't. The women like Hinata, Sakura, and them, they definitely can't. Kiba's definitely not keeping up with them. Kiba's fast. Don't get it twisted. Kiba's fast. He has his nose, his senses. Haku is just way too fast for Kiba though. Like he's just way too fast. And none of the people I'm naming right now has like the defensive feats to be able to withstand Haku. And that's what it comes down to. Like not only are they not fast enough, they don't have the defensive feats. So when you think of like Naruto, particularly if he's using the 8-tail cloaks or whatever, or just his shadow clones or whatever, he's either too fast or provides enough of a defensive feat to stay in the fight with Haku for an extended period of time. You have the same thing with like Neji, who's fast enough to react, and Gara, who's just defense is just may actually be too much for Haku to defend against. So with that being said, I think there's only 4 people in the Chunin exams. Like I don't think Tamari wins either. She's good with the wind scythe and all that stuff, but she's just not fast enough to keep up with Haku. I can't think of anybody else. So, like, with that being said, with that four, and who knows, maybe Zhao C can think of a 5th person. But as of right now, I can only think of 4 people that would probably be able to even compete with Haku in this situation. And out of that 4, I think there's only maybe 1 or 2 in which he might not be able to beat. He might not be able to beat. First and foremost, like Gara. I don't see Haku being able to beat Gara. Now, granted, Gara goes on to be a Kage, so like that tracks. Like Gara is damn near Kage level. You know what I mean? Like he's damn near Kage level. I don't see Haku being able to beat him. Like, granted, Haku's fast. He might even be faster than Rock Lee, truth be told. And if you want to put Rock Lee as the 5th person, I can see a fight for that. I can see a fight for that. But I'm gonna just start with the 4. Gara, Haku loses to him. I can't see Haku getting through Gara's sand. Like in no world, like there's nothing that Haku has shown that tells me he'll be able to get through Gara's sand. Gara has proven that it takes more than speed in order to beat Gara. You can't beat Gara with just speed alone, and for the most part, unfortunately, that's kind of like what all Haku really has is speed. Like he has speed, he has like great accuracy and stuff like that, which will help for most people. But somebody like Gara who has that sand defense, like Haku Senbon aren't getting through that sand defense. I'm sorry. Like Rock Lee proved that. Rock Lee opened what up to the 4th gate on Gara, and he still wasn't able to win. Gara was still able to beat him. Like, granted, Haku's in a slightly different situation because one, Haku's probably moving as fast as Rock Lee in his 4th gate, if not slightly faster. He's not using up as much chakra. He can sustain that speed for much longer than Rock Lee can, because Rock Lee, once he activate that 4th gate, like he had 1 attack in him, so his joint could only last a couple seconds. We've seen Haku sustain the crystal ice mirrors for quite a long time. Actually, when he was fighting Naruto and Sasuke, like he sustained that for quite a while. And granted, he started to slow down, but he sustained it for quite a while. The other thing too is, Haku doesn't need to get close in order to attack you. He's just going to be throwing Senbons for the most part. I haven't seen him do much close range battles or whatever. When he did do the close range battle, like a Genin version of Sasuke was able to defeat him. So like in terms of doing close range against Gara, that's not going to work. The Senbons is not going to pierce through Gara's sand defense. So even if Gara has to deal with like Haku's speed or whatever, like unless Haku's able to hit like some crazy vital points and pierce the sand, he's not going to be able to defeat Gara. Like, and especially if Gara just gets into that little ball joint that he did against Sasuke. Remember, like Gara, when he fights Sasuke showed that he was a little too fast for Gara. And Gara got into like this big old hardened ball joint. Like if he gets into that, Haku doesn't have anything to pierce that. Haku hasn't shown he has a level of power to be able to pierce through anything hard or strong or anything like that. Like he has not shown anything to that level. So if Gara does that, it's kind of game over, because at that point, like Haku can't do anything. Meanwhile, Gara can attack from that little orb, that little sphere thing that he was trapped in. Like, because when Sasuke did the Chidori, he was able to throw out like sand spikes or whatever to try to cut Sasuke. But Sasuke with his Sharingan was able to dodge the majority of those attacks, if I'm not mistaken. Haku, on the other hand, I mean, he'll probably be able to dodge it. He might be fast enough to dodge it, but he can't pierce it. Then it comes down to a battle of stamina. And I'm gonna tell you right now, like Gara has more stamina than Haku. Gara's the one-tailed Jinchuriki, bro. He has more stamina than Haku. So eventually Haku's gonna wear out because the Crystal Ice Mirror does take a good amount of chakra to sustain. That's why he started slowing down in the fight against Sasuke and Naruto. And then Gaara's just gonna take it, bro. The other person that probably wins in this situation, probably, is Naruto. I mean, Naruto already shows that once he activates that Nine Tails chakra, Haku can't compete. Haku can't compete. Now, granted, the Nine Tails chakra he showed against Haku, I think, is actually stronger than the Nine Tails chakra he showed against Neji. But the chakra he showed against Neji, he was able to control that. And that boosted his speed and power exponentially. Exponentially. Naruto is also somebody with an insane amount of chakra, bro. And he just learns how to control that even better in the Chunin exams. So if Haku comes across Naruto again in the Chunin exams, I can't see him beating Naruto. Especially when you factor in, like, Naruto also can summon Gamabutto. If Naruto summons Gamabutto in that fight, what is Haku doing against Gamabutto? Nothing. Nothing. Granted, like, Naruto's most likely not going to do that. He's not going to do that, but Naruto's also at the position in the Chunin exams where he can also summon a lot more clones. Like, he's in a position where he knows how to summon a lot more clones. It's just gonna be a battle of attrition. He's gonna eventually wear Naruto out. And he's not gonna, and you already know he's not gonna kill Naruto. Like, he likes Naruto. He messes with Naruto. He's not gonna kill Naruto. And Naruto, with his determination, he's just gonna keep going. He's gonna keep getting up until Haku wears out. So now it comes out to the point where there's two people that I think can actually maybe beat Haku in the Chunin exams. Due to this, they're hacks. They're sheer hacks. You know what I mean? Then it comes to some other people who also have hacks. And this is where it actually gets very interesting. You have people like Neji, and you also have people like Sasuke. Sasuke, during the Chunin exams, especially the final exams, has shown that he is as fast as Rock Lee. Granted, he may not have the same stamina as Rock Lee, but he is as fast as a weightless Rock Lee, which means at the very least, this version of Sasuke can keep up with Haku. Will be able to react. Let me make that correctly. Maybe not be able to keep up, because again, Haku's moving at light speed. I doubt that at this point Sasuke is moving at light speed. But this Sasuke is at least fast enough to react. Hell, if the Genin version of Sasuke was kind of, sort of, somewhat able to react, this version of Sasuke, who is way faster, is definitely going to be able to react to a lot of what Haku's going to throw at him. I think this version of Sasuke also has more stamina than Haku as well. Now the thing is, this version of Sasuke also has a better Sharingan and also has the Chidori, which, I don't care what y'all say, Chidori is getting through that Crystal Ice Mirror. Like, the only reason Sasuke's fire didn't get through the Crystal Ice Mirror was because it wasn't hot enough. Had he had like Amaterasu's getting through like the Crystal Ice Mirrors and stuff like that. Chidori being one of the strongest piercing jutsus in all of Naruto, that's gonna get through any of Haku's Crystal Ice Mirror. So being trapped in that Crystal Ice dorm, like, nah, Sasuke's gonna be able to get up out of there. He's definitely gonna be able to get out of there with the Chidori. And it's already been proven that Chidori can kill Haku. Like, he died to Chidori 2 times. Like, Kakashi literally kills Haku with Chidori 2 times. Once during the first arc with Zabuza, and the second time with the Pain arc, when Haku again intercepts Chidori in order to protect Zabuza, even though they were reanimated. Like, Chidori can kill Haku. Like, Haku has no real defense against Chidori. So yeah, that's a strong possibility that Sasuke wins. I am of the mind that if Haku wanted to actually beat Sasuke, the Chunin version of Sasuke, he might actually be able to. Because again, even though Sasuke can react, Sasuke has stamina, Sasuke has a jutsu that can possibly kill Haku, Haku is still much faster than Sasuke. Like, so it's just a matter if Sasuke can sustain that speed longer than Haku can, and if Haku can land a a shot, a disabling a shot on Sasuke before Sasuke can hit him with like a Chidori or something like that. That's what it really comes down to. So it's really a good toss up. I would say a fight like that between Chunin, Sasuke, and Haku goes maybe 60, 70 to Haku to 30, 40 Sasuke. Meaning like Haku maybe wins that 60, 70% of the time. Like I would say Haku definitely has the greater chance of winning that fight just off of his abilities and stuff like that. Because Haku doesn't necessarily have to engage Sasuke in hand-to-hand combat. He can use his speed and his accuracy with the Senbon to just wear Sasuke down. Now, the last fight on this list is, Haku versus Neji. That's gonna be a wild one, bro. That's a wild one because I'm like, yo, who actually wins? Because we kind of see the strategy that like Haku would employ against Neji is kind of what Kidimaru kind of employs against Neji. So we already see that Neji can kind of sort of deal with something like that. So like first off, like Neji is somebody who's not faster than Haku during his Crystal Ice Mirrors, but he's at least fast enough to react to a lot of the stuff that Haku's going to be able to throw at him. He has that 360-degree view, so he's going to be able to track Haku better than Sasuke was able to track him when Sasuke had the Sharingan. Like Neji's definitely going to be able to track him very much better. Neji also has the rotation, which is a defensive move. So like if he's not able or fast enough to react, he can do the rotation in order to protect himself. It really comes down to the fact whether Haku will be able to notice the blind spot in the Byakugan while throwing the Senbon. Because I feel like Haku is smart enough, like Kidimaru, to ascertain that sort of information with the speed and all the directions in which he'll be throwing Senbon at somebody like Neji. So he will notice that there is a blind spot. Whether he can capitalize on that is a different story, though, because remember, Kidimaru in the anime and even the manga had to attach like a web to his arrow and guide his arrow to the blind spots. As far as I'm aware, Haku can't do that. Haku is just somebody who's very accurate with them Senbons. You know what I mean? He's just very accurate. So I don't know if he'll be able to capitalize on that kind of information. Also, if it comes to stamina, I would say Neji also has better stamina than Haku. I mean, look at Neji's freaking senpai. And I mean, look at his sensei, his master. It's Might Guy, bro. Like Might Guy is about that stamina. He's about that stamina. He's out there working on people to death, bro. So like I would say Neji probably has the better stamina. So if it comes to a situation about stamina and who's just gonna last longer, I think Neji will be able to eventually wear Haku down to the point where Haku starts to slow down, and then he'll be able to hit him with the 8 Trigger and 64 palms. I think that's how the fight will end up going between Neji and Haku. I think Neji slightly wins. I think if it's a situation between Neji and Haku, Chunin, Neji, and Haku, I think it's like 60-40 towards Neji. Neji wins 60% of the time. Haku wins 40% of the time. So I think Neji actually beats Haku the majority of the time, bro. Because you also have the Gentle Fist, in which Neji has shown that he's able to deal with multiple attacks coming from multiple directions with just his Gentle Fist alone. And for whatever reason, if it's too overwhelming for him, he can also just pull out the rotation. So and Neji is shown as somebody who's fast enough to be able to react, bro. He's going to be fast enough to react to Haku. Haku hasn't shown anything strong enough to like pierce through something like a rotation or what would be like a Gentle Fist. He has not shown anything strong enough to do something like that. He's just gonna be, for the most part, just throwing Senbon all day, all crazy. You know what I mean? Because like that's all he's really shown us. He hasn't shown us any crazy jutsu. And granted, just to, for Haku's credit, like he was trained up as an assassin. They're not somebody that's going in engaging in these large scale battles. You know what I mean? They're going in quietly. They're taking you out quickly, and they're getting up out of there. And Haku and even Zabuza's kit is specifically designed for that type of fight. They're not the people that's going to be in there engaging in these big, large scale battles or anything like that. So they're also not in there for the long run, the long haul. They're in there to end you quickly and keep it moving. That's why you have Zabuza with something like the silent kill technique. That's why you have Haku, whose precision with the senbai is able to puncture vital points to the point where he can actually simulate death if he wanted to. And that's what happened with Zabuza. He punctuated Zabuza with his great accuracy with the senbon and was able to make it seem like Zabuza was dead, so he can then collect Zabuza's body, get him up out of there after he lost to Kakashi the first time, and then was able to be able to have Zabuza come back for like a part 2 or whatever. But that's how good his accuracy is. He's not somebody that's engaging in taijutsu or anything. His whole reliance, his whole kit is on speed and speed alone. Like if you're somebody who can keep up with him and somebody who can outlast him, because again, the Crystal Ice Mirrors take up a lot of stamina, then you have a really good chance of beating Haku. You really do. You have a good chance of beating Haku. And out of the people in the Chunin exams, I think those 4 have the best chance. Out of the 4, I would say Sasuke is probably the weakest out of the 4. And even if you were to match those people against, like, I do think ultimately like Gaara would have beat Sasuke. I think Neji would have beat Sasuke, and I think Naruto would have beat Sasuke in the Chunin. So I think Sasuke is the weakest link. And out of those 3, I think Neji is weaker than both Gaara and Naruto. In actuality, like, even though Neji should have probably beat Naruto in that particular fight, considering how it went down. But ultimately, Naruto is stronger than Neji in this point, bro. He is stronger than Neji. Just like Gaara is stronger than Neji. Although I think Neji might have had a good chance to beat Gaara too. See, that's what makes it so hard to decide this. Ultimately, like, in terms of matchup though, like Haku and Gaara is a really bad matchup. Haku has nothing to deal with Gaara's sand. Haku has nothing to deal with Gaara's sand defense. In terms of Naruto just has too much stamina and chakra and grit in order to lose to Haku. He may not have the speed unless he's tapping into the 8 gates. I mean, not the 8 gates, the Nine Tails chakra. But if he does, and he at this point he knows how to channel it because he did it during the Neji fight, like, he's gonna be able to keep up with and react to a lot of what Haku's doing. He's gonna be able to keep up and react to a lot of what Haku's doing, unfortunately, and he's gonna have the stamina to outlast Haku too. That's what it ultimately comes down to: either being able to react to Haku long enough to either outlast him, or Haku not being able to get through the defense. Sasuke is the only one where I don't think he has the stamina to last long enough. I mean, I think Neji has the stamina to last long enough. I think Haku has the stamina to last long enough. I think Gaara has the stamina to last long enough to where Haku starts to slow down or get tired or exhausted. And then ultimately that's where they pull the victory. I mean, obviously, I don't know what Naruto would do. He'll probably just punch the crap out of Haku like he did the last time. I mean, Gaara has his sand burial to be able to deal with Haku. And then, Neji has the 8 gates, trigram, 64 palms in order to deal with Haku. So with that being said, let me know in the comments below if you were to see Haku in the Chunin exams. How far do you think he makes it? Do you think he clears? Do you think he wipes all of the Chunins? Is he up there with Kabuto, where he's gonna have to disqualify himself from the Chunins just so that we can even have a Chunin exams? Like, let me know in the comments below, and let me know, do you think he would even beat Kabuto? Because at this point, Kabuto is considered a Kakashi level threat, and Zabuza was glazing Haku in a way where he says like he can beat Kakashi. So do you think Haku can beat Kabuto, knowing what we know about Kabuto? Leave in the comments below, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember, your life is fantasy.
to them young boys in the hood with big dreams of being superstars. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't, but you gotta work super hard. To the older man who feels his life is over cause he wasted it standing on corners. One thing I learned about the streets, it's never too late for a come up. I was told before that I couldn't do it. I remember being told by my own peeps not to rap, and singing in my hood wasn't popular, but I got respect for it cause I was a beast. Facts. If you got a dream, you gotta stay committed, you can get it, but you gotta be a beast, you can't slack for a minute. Remember this, if you don't remember nothing else,